Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to go over one of my favorite things to do. It's to create new plants from cuttings. Today I'm going to show you how to propagate this Philodendron Micans. This process of creating more plants from cuttings is actually something you can apply to a lot of the trailing plants such as philodendrons, pothos, syndapsis, monsteras, string of things such as string of hearts, string of turtles. I think this is the most fun way to create new plants, and you get to see them grow from like little cuttings into like this huge plant. Actually, this plant here was actually from, I think, 3 cuttings that one of my friends gave me. And I feel like that's like the most fun part of being able to grow plants. So something I think is really important to go over and for everyone to understand is the anatomy of the plant. So looking at this here, this is a Philodendron Micans. So it's a trailing plant. As you can see, it has gotten really long, and it's time for me to propagate it and pretty much put it back into the pot so that I can have a fuller plant versus a very long and leggy plant. So let's go over the anatomy of this plant. So if you look at this plant here with the leaves and the stems, that's called the shoot system. And so what we really need to look at is the individual parts of the plant so that we can propagate it properly. So when you look here, you'll see these little bulges right along the stem, and that is called a node. So nodes are the points on a stem where the leaves originate and also roots. So here we have an aerial root. An aerial root is a root that grows above the ground, and it helps anchor the plants to the wall, to trees, to branches, to whatever it wants to attach to. And when we propagate it, we're going to be cutting these plants and putting it in water, and then we'll generate water roots, which are a little bit more fragile, but they're able to pick up more nutrients from the water. So the points between 2 nodes is called the internode, which is this long piece right here. And that's where we're going to be cutting along. And so let's look a little bit closer here. And this is where you have a petiole, which is a stalk that connects the stem to the leaf blade of the plant. So now that we've gone over the anatomy of the plant, we need to get cutting. So the first thing you want to do is take your pruning shears or scissors, whatever you have that you're going to cut your plant with. You need to sterilize it. So what I have here is alcohol, which is isopropyl alcohol. Mine is 70%. You want to use something 70% or higher because you want to prevent the spreading of disease. And there are, 3 different ways you can actually sterilize your shears. One, you can wipe it with the alcohol. So you can spray a paper towel and wipe your shears. Or you can spray the shears directly and let it air dry. Or you can dip the shears into the isopropyl alcohol or the rubbing alcohol. But today I'm going to show you guys, basically, I'm going to wipe it. These are my shears. So I just grabbed like a paper towel, spray it. Or you can spray the actual shears themselves and then just wipe and just, let them dry off. That's important because you don't want them spreading diseases, fungal diseases, bacterial diseases from one plant to another, because I did use this on other plants prior. So now that you've sterilized your pruning shears, you want to pick along the plant where you want to create your cuttings. So you can either do 1 leaf cuttings, you can do multiple leaf cuttings. And for me, I think today, because this is really long, I might do several cuttings plus maybe 1 long cutting. You want to propagate more than 1 cutting to increase your odds of rooting. You don't want to just do 1 and then it doesn't root. And that wouldn't be fun because you're going to have to wait like a couple of weeks before you can plant the cutting. Another thing I wanted to mention was that sometimes these have roots already. They're called aerial roots. And this one looks pretty healthy, and it's a little bit brown and a little bit of white, which is the typical color. When they start drying out, they turn like a brown, and it's the likeliness that they will root will be decreased. Let me see if I can find one for you guys to see. Okay, so actually they all look pretty good on this plant, so I don't see any really bad ones. So, okay, so now we should cut. I think let's go ahead and cut this down. Actually, here, I found one. If you look here, do you see how dry these roots are? Water roots will not emerge from this at this point. It's really dry. But your chances are, there are chances still that you can have more roots growing from this node. So it doesn't hurt to propagate. Okay, so let me cut this here to show you guys. So again, you want to cut between two nodes. So here we go. We have a node here and a node here. But I usually like to cut, so let's see, I want to cut closer to this one. And I will cut off the excess from this one. A few centimeters to an inch. See that? And then you want to cut, again, between the two nodes. And see how closely I'm cutting it to the node here? Okay, this is one cutting. And it has one leaf on it. So you can submerge this in water. See? Put it in my water. This is the propagation vessel I have. The one that I really like is actually occupied right now. This one will have to do. Submerged. So where's the cutting? So now what's left is, oh no, I broke it by accident. Oh no. So, okay, so I just broke it right at this node. So this one doesn't have a node on it. Actually, it does. It has a node here, but I don't think that's gonna really do much because the leaf hasn't even emerged yet. So what I could do is try to propagate this or just take it as a loss. So here's the next one. So this one was broken pretty close to the plant. So I can try to propagate this one as well. Again, I'm going to cut right here. And so like if I wanted to root this piece right here, I would just cut off this part of the stem that doesn't need to be this long. And then I would just submerge this into water or even remove this leaf and submerge it. But I think I'm going to leave it on. So far, 2 leaf cuttings and 1 long stem cutting. So I'm just going to submerge it into water. So now that I have a few cuttings, what do we do at this point? So you want to submerge the nodes into water. You want to refill the water so that you ensure that the node is submerged so that the roots can grow, the water roots can grow. So you can fill it up every couple days, or you can change out the water completely in a few days. I usually change out the water maybe once a week just to ensure there's no bacterial growth or fungal growth. So also by doing that, I can check to see if there are any pests on the plant and also just to check on the status of the root growth. I would place it under moderate light, no direct sunlight, because they don't have roots yet. A lot of these philodendrons, they root within a couple days. So you want to wait for the roots to be more than 1 inch in length before planting in either soil, leca, or any other inorganic media. So like for me, I actually have it in lecuza pon. I hope I pronounced that right. But I can talk about that more in future videos. Well, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thanks for watching.